Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Fan Perspective. I am your host Nathan Lyle, and even though it is technically Thursday afternoon, I decided to just put out an early edition of NBA Weekly. Usually I schedule it for Friday mornings. Today I'm doing it on Thursday just because there's a lot I want to say, and I feel like going ahead and just saying it. And there's only one game left to being played tonight. I don't feel like waiting till midnight to see who wins, especially since it basically has nothing to do with what I'm going to put out. So, well, here's the show that I have for you. First of all, we will start with the fact that the San Antonio Spurs have now become the first team to win 50 games this season and have extended their NBA record streak of 50-plus win seasons to 14 consecutive seasons. And they became the first Western Conference team to clinch a playoff berth. This will be the 16th consecutive year the Spurs will be in the playoffs. Tim Duncan has been in the playoffs every year of his career. Do you know how few players can say that? Bill Russell, Karl Malone, Robert Horry? Are you seeing a trend here? They're all big men, power forwards and centers, and a little asterisk to that. Those are the only names that I could verify. If I missed something, please feel free to point it out to me. But it doesn't count if they've played less than 10 years, because 10 years is nothing. 16 years is a long-ass time, though. I mean, Kareem Abdul Jabar, he played for 20 years and missed the playoffs twice. Jason Kidd has missed the playoffs twice. I mean, to play for double-digit seasons, especially on the same team, and make the playoffs in every single one of them, impressive. You know what else is impressive? The Miami Heat have now won 20 games in a row, and there seems to be no sign of stopping them anytime soon. The Lakers, they had won 4 games in a row and fought their way back into the playoffs, but in their final seconds of their game against the Hawks, Kobe missed a game-winning shot and went down with a severe left ankle sprain and is now out indefinitely. I'm sorry, that should have been game-tying shot. Anyway, people are rushing to say that the Lakers are out of the playoffs now, but that's not necessarily true. The Lakers were able to win games last year without Kobe thanks to strong defensive presence from Bynum and Artest. The hardest part will simply be the coach changing his own philosophy, because in order for the Lakers to win, they will either need Dwight Howard to get 20 rebounds and 10 blocks every game, or Steve Nash will need to get 20 assists, maybe a little mix of both. Either way, it starts with the coach having to adjust his philosophy, because Mike D'Antoni, the way that he likes to coach the game, the roster that he has is not capable of pulling that off, especially not without a scorer like Kobe. Nash isn't the same dominant force that he once was, putting up points. So that he as a coach is gonna have to make that change and say, okay, this is what we've got. I've got to use them. This is how I've got to use them. And meanwhile, the Denver Nuggets, they've won 10 games in a row, and they are one of the best home teams in the league, and they have enough home games left on the schedule that they could conceivably overtake the Clippers or the Grizzlies, or possibly to even both. I mean, they could find themselves in the top 4 in the Western Conference when it's all said and done. I don't really see Denver winning a championship this year, but they are a scary first-round matchup for anybody in the Western Conference right now. Meanwhile, the Memphis Grizzlies, they seem to be back on track and have now won 6 games in a row, including beating the Clippers. In fact, they have now overtaken the Clippers for that 3rd seed in the West. The Bobcats finally won a game, so now the longest losing streak in the league belongs to the Detroit Pistons, who have dropped 3 in a row. And after them, the second longest losing streak belongs to either the Knicks or the Blazers, who are playing each other right now. The loser of this game, it'll be their 3rd straight loss, which is why I'm not bothering watching it. Anyways, a few milestones for you this week. I don't want this video to run too long. I mean, I know it's already going to be longer than usual, but I'm not going to add to your misery. So I'm just going to go over the big milestones that just really stick out to me. A few major ones from guys at the top of the list. First of all, Jason Terry is only 9 made three-pointers away from becoming just the 4th player in NBA history with 1,900 for his career. Paul Pierce only needs to make 6 more to become just the 6th player in NBA history with 1,800 for his career. Tim Duncan is now 27 career rebounds behind Shaq for 13th place on the all-time list. Dirk Nowitzki is 27 away from 9,000 for his career. LeBron James now has over 1,300 career steals, and Chris Paul is 10 away from 1,300 for his career. Elton Brand is 4 blocks away from 1,700 for his career, and Vince Carter is now 32 points away from 22,000 for his career. And here are a few games that I'm looking forward to over the weekend. First of all, Friday, we've got a full 10-game slate. Here's what sticks out to me the most. First, you've got the Lakers at the Pacers. When they had Kobe, the Lakers lost on the last-second shot from George Hill, but that was way back in November, and that was in LA. And now the Lakers head to Indiana without their star player, and it'll just be interesting to see if they will actually be able to compete against them, how well they'll be able to do. I mean, what kind of damage will Dwight be able to do walking against Hibbert and West? How well can Nash run the offense being hounded by George Hill all night? And can Ron Artest slow down the powerhouse that is Paul George? I mean, he did a pretty decent job in that first matchup. But I think the most important thing is, who is going to be the Lakers' leading scorer? That's the question here. And then later in that same night, you've got the Heat at the Bucks. A potential first-round matchup. And these two teams, they actually split their first 2 meetings with the home team winning each matchup. And then you've got the Grizzlies at the Nuggets. The 2 longest winning streaks in the Western Conference collide when these 2 teams meet for what will be the final time in the regular season and what could be a potential playoff preview. Denver currently has a 2-1 lead on this series. Then you've got the Bulls at the Warriors. Both of these teams have struggled lately, dropping 6 of the last 10 and are looking to get back on track. And then Saturday, you've got 6 games being played, and only one of them holds even the slightest interest for me, but I'm probably not even going to bother looking at it. It's the Grizzlies at the Jazz. The Kobe injury opens up the door for the Jazz to possibly fight their way right back into the playoffs, but they have not been able to beat the Grizzlies yet this year, so... Anyways, on to Sunday, a full 8 games are being played, and these are the ones I'll be paying attention to. First of all, you have the Knicks at the Clippers. If you're a New York fan, this has probably been a really long week for you. The Knicks are hoping to try and get back on track against a Clippers team that easily disposed of them the last time they met. Then later in the day, you've got the Warriors at the Rockets. Houston is currently only 2.5 games behind Golden State for that 6th seed. And the Warriors are currently 0-3 against the Rockets this year. Then you've got the Thunder at the Mavericks. This is the final meeting between these teams, and even though Dallas is still technically in the playoff conversation, they have yet to beat the Thunder this season. And then you've got the Hawks at the Nets, the final matchup between these 2 teams, and the Nets currently lead the series 2-1. That's it for this episode. I hope it wasn't too long. I hope I didn't bore you as much as I usually do. Anyways, I hope you have a good weekend. Happy Thursday, what's left of it. There's probably only going to be like 20 minutes of it left by the time this is uploaded. Have a happy Friday. Have a good weekend. I'll see you on Monday when I unfortunately have to go back to school because spring break's going to be over. Bye.